Welcome to your full body workout, volume number 4. Today, all you need is a yoga mat. Feel free to grab your dumbbells or just do this with your body weight. And let's get ready to work. We're going to start with our warm up and then go into our workout of the day. So let's start with our first movement. As you know, I have the game plan on the floor, so you will see me looking down. So our first movement is side to side steps. This is basically just getting the blood flow in your body warmed up. So we're just stepping side to side. You're welcome to move your arms in and out. Think about pulling a band in front of you, opening up the muscles of the chest and also your hips. So a slight step out and repeat. And rest. Second warm up is our banded pull aparts. This is going to be similar to our first movement we just did, but we're going to stand tall. What I want you to do is extend your arms out. We want to wake up the muscles of the back before we start our workout. You're pretending like you're pulling a band out in front of your chest, pulling your elbows back. We're going to aim for 10 reps, but keep your elbows up with this movement. And this is how you should look. And rest. Our last warm up we have is our squats. We want to make sure our legs are alive and woke on this movement because we do have squats coming up in our workout today. So let's go ahead and get the blood flow and our muscles pumping. So we have our feet apart, hip distance, pushing our hips back and keeping our shoulders rolled back, tummy braced. Let's go right back into that first exercise, which is a side to side step with our arms coming in and out as our feet step out to the side. And rest. Next movement is upper body. Hands are coming back out. Focus on full stretches on this one, pushing your chest forward. Going into our squats for 10 reps. And rest. So the games begin. I'm excited for us to work out today. Today we're going to be having some more challenging movements. So definitely going to step up to the plate today and push ourselves for better results. So with your equipment ready, we're going to go into our first circuit. Our first round, I'm going to be telling you how to do the movements and everything you need to know. The second round, we're going to go into our pro tips. So our first exercise, we have a thruster. How to perform a thruster. You want to have your feet hip distance, similar to a squat stance. Your weights are by your shoulders. Push your hips back by arching your lower back. Shoulders rounded back, coming up to a push at the top. I want you to keep this movement going. Focus on your tempo and your pace. and rest. So that is how you do your thruster. Now let's dive into our second exercise. From there, we have our dumbbell touchdowns. So you do need your weight, but you also can use your body weight. So without our dumbbells, we're going to just use our body weight for this one to practice so we can nail it on our second round. We want to start with our feet together, our hands beside us. With this movement, you want to step out to the right, bring your hands and palms to the floor, come together, and switch out to the opposite side. And rest. So that is a lower body dominant, those first two movements, legs and also some upper body. So let's go into our third exercise. Our third exercise is our rows. With this movement, we want to focus on our posture and our form. So this is how you do a dumbbell row. First, start with your feet shoulder distance, slightly bend at your knee. Push your hips back, lower your chest to the floor, arch your hips, and push your chest out. So you notice my back is nice and flat, and I'm keeping my spine neutral. Rest your arms in front of you, pulling from using your back muscles, pulling your elbows back, and releasing the weight back down. Keep this exercise going with your row. We're looking for 15 reps, and this is how you do your dumbbell rows. And rest. So that is your first round. Go ahead and grab a bottle of water, stretch a little bit. Now, as we go into this second round, and your break starts now, so 30 seconds, so go ahead and rest. I'm gonna chat with you during this break. On our next round, which is round 2, you're gonna notice me doing some of the exercise with you, and then the other part of your time with your movement or your exercise, I will be giving you our pro tips. These are gonna give you more tips with your movement, how to do it and what not to do, okay? We're looking for 15 more seconds of rest. And let's go back to the top. So we're starting back with our thrusters, weight to shoulders, and go. So keep this exercise going with your thruster. So here is your pro tip with a dumbbell thrust. You want to make sure that you are keeping your thighs parallel to floor. So we want to make sure as we're squatting down, we're getting our hips as low as we can within our flexibility. From there, do not lean forward into your movement of your squat. Keep your hips down and your chest up. As you come up with that weight, and you should still be moving right now, as you come up with that weight, you want to squeeze your ears and focus on not jerking. You want to control the movement, all right? And then last but not least, your pro tip is also to keep your chin up. You should be looking straight ahead. So we're looking for 5 more reps. And rest. So let's dive right into our second exercise, which is our dumbbell touchdowns. And go. So with your dumbbell touchdowns, your tips for this exercise is make sure you actually touch down. The goal of this movement is to get your fingertips or your palms to the floor. This is going to be helping you challenge your mobility within your hips. You should feel the muscles of your inner thigh, your thighs, and also the muscles of the glutes. With this movement, make sure you keep your shoulders up and your chest high. Think about keeping your chest up and forward. As you come into this movement, you want to also make sure that you quickly switch to the opposite leg. So your speed and pace is going to help you get into that fat burning zone. We're looking for 5 more reps. And rest. So your heart rate should be up, and we're going to dive right into our next movement, which is rows. Really good for our back. So feet together and go. With your dumbbell row, here's your pro tip. When it comes to a dumbbell row, make sure you're keeping your elbows glued by your side. So you know how we have like chicken wings when you think about a chicken, like your elbows come out, right? You want to make sure that your elbows are glued by your side, okay? So we don't want to be chickens out here. We want to have our elbows glued in. What that is going to do is going to help activate the muscles of the lats, which is the muscle group right underneath your arm or underneath your armpit. When you come back, make sure you squeeze for a second or two to really get that time under tension, which is going to help you build muscle and tone, and then release with control coming back to that start position. Make sure you're not swinging as you come down. We got 5 more reps. And rest. So catch your breath, get a bottle of water. We have 30 seconds and we're moving right into our next workout. Now here's your coaching as we go into our next circuit. For one, if you feel like you need a longer break and you're new with our team, first, welcome. But feel free to take a little bit longer break, pause and come back and join us. If you've been with me for a while, I want you to push yourself through. As we go into this next circuit, we're going to be doing a combination of lower and upper body movements. The first round is all about how to do it, or I should say everything you need to know. And then the second round is your pro tips. Let's get started. So our first exercise is goblet lunges. What you're going to do if you have your weights with you is hold the top of the bell of that dumbbell. So your dumbbell should be this direction. And we have the top of the weight in our hand. I want you to step forward into a lunge, bringing that knee to the floor, but don't hit the floor. Push back and alternate your steps. Be sure when you do a lunge to make sure you keep your shoulders rolled back. You should already be going with this exercise, by the way. Your tummy tight and tilting of your hips. Make sure your hips are tucked under. And this is how you do a goblet lunge. Let's keep this going. If you don't have weights, feel free to bring your hands together. And rest. So that's your goblet lunges. Now let's go into our next exercise. Our next exercise is a side lunge and a frontal raise. So this is how you do a side lunge and a frontal raise. Hard to say that one. A frontal raise using our dumbbells. We're going to spread our feet to a straddle position. So you have a very wide stance with this one. Your weights are in your hand. Lightweight, I suggest, if it's your first time doing this exercise. We want our weights beside us or in front of us, near our thigh and inner thigh. We want to shift our weight to our right leg, bending at our knee and also at our hip. We keep our posture up and bring our hips as low as we can. Notice I'm balancing on the heel of my right foot, and also I'm actually rotating to the heel of my left foot. Feel free to keep your foot flat. As you come down, you lift, and then you shift and lift. Let's go ahead and start this exercise out. We're looking for 15 movements altogether, but we're gonna keep going till I say time. And rest. So that is a compound movement because we're using our upper and our lower body. So let's go into our third movement. This one's gonna get our heart rate up. We have high knees with our hands above our head. So this is how you do high knees with your arms extended up above your head. You will have a dumbbell or pretend like you have a weight or a ball above your head. Take that weight, reach it up, and bring your knees up into a marching movement. Notice I'm hopping. Go ahead and start this movement out. Start this exercise out. I'm hopping to each leg. A little bit of a pop. Knees come up as high as they can. Arms glued by your ears. And rest. So you should feel your legs, the muscles over on your hip, your core, and also your upper body. 30-second recovery break. Let's get ready to go into round number 2 and then dominate our final circuit. During this second round, you'll notice I'll go into our coaching tips. We have 20 seconds left. All right, in 3. Let's get it. So here is your pro tip when doing a lunge, or I would say a goblet lunge, more of an advanced movement with your weight held in front of your chest. When doing a goblet lunge, you want to make sure that you're starting with your feet together, taking a big step forward, bending your back knee towards the floor, and also bending that front knee as well. Here's your pro tip when it comes to your goblet lunge. Number 1 is you do not want your knee hitting the floor. We want to make sure we protect our knees at all costs, so your knee should just be aiming towards the floor. Number 2, you want to make sure that your body weight is distributed mainly to that front leg. I see a lot of times ladies do this movement and they're pushing their weight more on their back leg. Make sure you're pushing your weight towards your front leg as you do your movement. And number 3, posture up. Have your shoulders up and look straight ahead. We're looking for 5 more reps. And that's your pro tip with your goblet lunge. So let's go right into our next exercise. I'm already sweating, you probably are as well. We're going to go into our next exercise, which is a side lunge and frontal raise. Let's go ahead and go right into that exercise starting now. Here's your pro tip for a lateral or side lunge with a frontal raise. One tip I'll give you is feel free to use one weight. If you're struggling with the movements of the weight as you lunge, just grab one dumbbell and lift as you go down into that lateral lunge. When it comes to your body mechanics, you want to make sure that one leg is always straight. If you bend or try to bend both legs, you're going to feel like your knee feels a little wonky, or I should say a little irritated, or like it's being pulled. So make sure one leg is straight and one leg is bent. Your last pro tip when it comes to your lateral lunge with your forward raise is to make sure you really commit to your movement. If you do these half out, you're going to get half results. So if your knees and hip allows, come all the way down into that movement. We have 5 more reps. And rest. So our next exercise we have is our high knees with our hands above our head. This one seems simple, but it packs a punch. So here's your pro tip for your high knees with your arms extended above your head. Go ahead and start your movement out. You should be looking like this. When it comes to this exercise, make sure that as you perform the movement, that you're adding your pace to this. So if you increase your pace, you're going to help with the fat burning process. So do make sure that you're making your movements quick as you can. Don't follow my lead. You might find yourself faster or slower. Wherever you are fitness level wise, own that space. Okay? Number 2, make sure you are keeping those arms fully up. If you have your arms here, you're halfway doing the movement. Those arms should be extended all the way above your head. And number 3, squeeze your core. You should be bracing your core at this point. So if you're thinking about someone coming to your tummy and maybe doing jabs, hate to think about that. Let's say you're sneezing. That's a little bit better, right? You're about to sneeze. You're going to feel that tension in your core. That's what you want to feel. And that's your pro tip for your high knees with your arms extended above your head. We're looking for 5 more reps. And rest. Good job. You dominated that second circuit. Now we got one more. So 30 seconds of a cool down break, and I'm going to coach you into your next circuit. In 20 seconds, we're going to start our circuit number 3. Again, we're going to have some full body movements. I want to encourage you to push through for this third circuit because at this point, we have really expended a lot of energy and our body might be tired. So don't get tired on me. I need you to push through, all right? We have 10 seconds. Our first exercise coming up is what we call squat jacks. I'm going to show you how to do that movement. So when performing a squat jack, you want to think about a scissor-like motion. You're going to spread your feet out to the side, bring your hands down, come up, and then out to the opposite side. You're focusing on a big step out, pushing your hips back, keeping your chest up. Shoot your arms by your ears, hands together. Open back out to that position. And that is how you do your squat jack. Let's keep that exercise going. We're looking for times of about 20 seconds. Now, I do want you to add some weight into this one. Let's do it. Add some dumbbells in your hand if you have weights. Time starts now. And rest. So this movement is similar but different than our first movement, like our thruster. This time we're stepping out and it adds a little bit more coordination, all right? So let's go into our next exercise, which is our side to side shuffle with a bicep curl. So we're stepping out to the side and we're curling our weights. So this is how you do a side to side shuffle with a bicep curl. You're gonna start with your arms extended down by your side with your weights or just body weight. Your feet together, step out into a curl, extend, and then curl. Notice I'm extending. You're gonna go ahead and start this exercise out, starting now. I'm extending as I open. I open my stride. I close. Open, close. Let's keep this movement going. Remember to keep your chest up and a slight bend at your knee. Brace that core. And rest. So we're gonna go into our last exercise, which is our squat to forward arm swings. We're looking for 10 reps of this exercise. So how to do a squat to forward arm swing. Start with your feet hip distance, sit your hips back and swing your arms to chest level. Come out of that squat, bring your arms back beside you. Keep your core braced, keep your chest up. We're looking for 10 reps, and this is how you do your movement. And rest. So from this circuit, we're gonna go into our final and last circuit, or final and last round, starting back at the top with our squat jacks. This time we're doing our pro tips. Time starts now. Your movement again is here. So your pro tips for this round. When it comes to doing a squat jack, you want to make sure that you're getting those hips as low as you possibly can. So do not cheat me. You're only cheating yourself. So make sure those hips are low. And again, extend your arms all the way up. If you're struggling with the coordination of this movement, I want your tip to be focus on the squat only. Take the side steps out, squat and push, squat and push. Let's get 5 more reps. And rest. From there, let's go into our next exercise, which is our side to side shuffle with bicep curls. Our feet start together, and remember, we're extending out and we're curling, curling. Open, close. Keep that exercise going. Now, when it comes to doing a side step mixed with a bicep curl, I like to call it a lateral shuffle mixed with a bicep curl. Your pro tip is to make sure that you increase your pace on this movement. If you keep it slow, you'll notice you're not getting much of a burn. So make sure that you're trying to get through this movement as quick as possible, safely as possible. Number 2 is have it bend at your knee. Know your legs should not be locked straight out as you do this movement. You should softly bend at your knee, and you're staying at a pretty much medium level when it comes to your squats. You're not too low in this exercise. 5 more reps. And rest. Hopefully this round is better for you. As you go into the second round, it's always about cleaning up your form. So let's go into our final last movement. We have 10 reps of a squat with a forward arm swing. Your movement is this here. So your pro tip when doing a squat to forward raise. The movement is similar to a kettlebell swing. You want to make sure that you're using control with this exercise. If you have heavier weight, you'll know what I'm saying. If you have lighter weight, you have a little bit more of ability to control it. You want to make sure as you come to that chest, you're controlling that weight back to your outside of your legs, not past it. Once you add in that excessive momentum back, you actually take away from your body working more, and you're just relying on the weight swinging you through or pulling you through the exercise. We want our body to work because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for results from our body being challenged in the exercise. Make sure you also keep your core braced throughout this whole session of this movement, and also shoulders back. 5 more reps. And rest. So high five, fist pump. Good job. You dominated the whole entire workout today. I'm proud of you for pushing through. Let's go into a quick 60-second cool down and we're done for the day. For our first stretch, or for our first cool down movement, let's start off with upper body. We're going to take our arms coming up, or take our arm across the chest and hook it with the right arm. This is going to stretch out the muscles around the shoulder. And switch. Feet together. Keep your legs as straight as you can. We want to stretch the muscles of the hamstring, which is on the back side of the legs. Aim to reach towards your toes. Bring one leg back. Keep the front leg straight. And switch. And rest. Feel free to go into another round if you need longer of a stretch period in our workout. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next workout. Bye.